Hi everybody, thanks for joining me today. I'm going to be chatting about my top palettes for spring. I have 10 of them. 4 are face palettes and 6 are eye palettes. And I really went through and shopped my stash for these, so it's not some of my newer stuff. Like even though, for example, I'm loving the Too Faced Teddy Bear palette, I'm trying to dig a little deeper into some things that maybe you have floating around in your collection as well. And you could sort of reinvigorate your love for those things as a new season comes around. I do feel like you should be able to do whatever the heck you want with your makeup whenever you want. But I do think there's some fun in the change of seasons and thinking about what that new season can bring to the table. What new inspiration, what new ideas. For springtime, this might mean bringing back a bit of a glow to the skin. I personally love some glow. So we're gonna have some palettes for cheeks that definitely incorporate that. And then for eyes, I like the subtle infusion of color, some pastel colors perhaps, maybe a good basic neutral eye for when you want to bump up the lips a little harder but keep the eye just a little more soft and delicate. Everything I'm bringing to the table in this video sort of follows that idea, okay? So first off, let's talk about what I did use on my face today for my contour, my blush, and my highlight steps. I pulled out my Kevyn Aucoin. This is the Contour Book, The Art of Sculpting and Defining, Volume 3. This is so beautiful, and listen up, my friends who are trying to throw together like the last minute quick look. You might be the mom who has no time or you're not sure when your time is going to happen in the day to do any makeup, and so you're just kind of squeezing it in. This multitasker palette is incredible, and I really like it transitioning from like winter into spring because I feel like these shades look so good even when your skin doesn't have much color to it. A couple of these contour shades are so dang cool. I feel like they just work beautifully on my skin right now, and then I can use a little splash of this one where I want some extra warmth. But you've also got, I love this blush. I'm wearing this today. I used all 3 of the different contour shades at different times. Basically, it was a blend of these 2 on the cheekbone area and some of this blended with that on the hairline. So I've got a real easy, real natural looking contour there. Kevyn Aucoin's contours are incredible. Plus you got a mirror here. This blush is so cool because it blends from like peachy shimmer into a beautiful pink, a bubblegummy type pink, into a neutral. So you can kind of dip your brush anywhere. It's very like Hindash Beautopsy vibes there, right? But you can sort of customize what you want that to be. And then 2 different tones of highlight. Today I'm wearing the one called Flash, but we also have Beam. Both of them are equally just brilliant on the skin. And the reason why I say this can be the busy person's go-to is, can't you see all of this being great on the eyes as well? Fabulous eyeshadows here. A little pop on the lid and boom, you're done. So I like this transitioning from winter into spring. That blush just sings. I really enjoy that little pop of pink, but I blended it into that neutral that was there too, and it's just gorgeous. But this is like a super multitasker. Another great palette that I think has some multitasking potential is the Too Faced Natural Face. How delicate, how spring-like is the exterior. They really nailed it with the packaging of these and their natural eye palettes when they redid them. Love this style of packaging. And inside, we've got, again, a blush that really speaks to me for this season. I love this one called Pink Wink. There's some shimmer in it, but beneath it, Pink Sand, a little more mauvey neutral. Actually, I would wear this one as a blush as well. It's Tropic Like It's Hot is kind of the combo of glowy bronzer and blush to me. Then you've got a pure bronzer type shade here and a couple of highlights. And it's a lot of fun. I've multitasked with this one on many occasions and used it on the eyes. But it definitely offers some glow here. If you're into the all matte thing, this might not be for you because 4 out of the 6 shades do have shimmer. But I love that one and I think it's perfect for spring. Also, what a time to talk about my Cotton Candy Champagne palette from Beauty Bakery. This is a blush palette. Okay, so just blushes. 4 of the most beautifully glowy blushes you're going to find. The texture is like a Becca highlight basically, but with beautiful blushed tones. So we've got like a soft pink, more of a peachy pink. Down beneath that, the shade swatched there has a little more of that like hint of plum in it. And this shade with like just a little bit of bronze in there too. They're so pretty on the cheeks. I've talked about them, raved about them a ton. I've heard loads of great feedback on these from those of you who have tried it, but it only takes a little little bit, okay? You're not gonna scrub your brush in these. You're gonna gently tap in and you're going to have just instant radiance. You're gonna love the textures, and this palette, warning, is going to have you seeking out glowy blushes left and right. Like, that's gonna be the type of blush you wanna default to. And the last face palette is kind of like a combo here, but this is my little multitasker from Milani. It's called the All-Inclusive Eye, Cheek, and Face palette. And I really like this if you're wanting to usher in some warmth to your look, because I feel like the shadows are kind of toasty. I absolutely love the blushes in here, like so pigmented. One is shimmery and softer, but it still really shows. And then this one has an even more intense color punch, a great highlight. I can make the bronzer work even though it's not maybe my favorite tone, but it's just easy, effortless. It's kind of trying to be like a Charlotte Tilbury palette, and I think it's great. And for my friends with deeper skin tones, or if I want to just have a little bit richer color palette to work from, they have this option too, which I think is really smart. I've got a full video on these palettes, and I think I stated there that I hope Milani continues with this and maybe does turn out like a cooler color scheme, but still with the different depth levels. I think that would be a really nice way to switch these up and keep them coming. Alrighty, so Milani, Cotton Candy Champagne, Too Faced Natural Face, and my Kevyn Aucoin here. Those would be my 4 face palette picks for spring. Now we're gonna move on to the eyes, and I'm gonna start with what I used today on my eyes. I've got just this soft, it's a blend of like peaches and a splash of berry, and it's the Makeup Revolution Emily Edit the Once palette. It's a palette for all seasons, but this is what I really mean when I say a spring palette that gives you some of those pastel options. It gives you every dark thing to anchor the look. Sorry, this palette has been used and abused and marked on and everything by me, but it's so pretty and it's so perfect for this time of year if you're trying to just introduce a little bit of color into the overall nice neutral spread. Today what I did is I took Cupcake, which is kind of light and has quite a bit of shimmer, but I set up my crease with that to just give me some overall softness, and then I blended in a little bit of Prayer to darken it up. This is your Dusty Rose right up here, and to deepen it even further on the outer part of the lid and outer corner, I used Pie Fi. That's my Rich Matte Berry. And then on the inner part of the lid, I patted on Eve Rose for your maximum coverage with that. Use a finger, just dab it on, and you get this kind of golden pinky shift type shade on the eyes. And I just love the way everything is so smoothly working together. When I put this palette together with Makeup Revolution years ago, I was wanting it to be a palette everyone could use. I wanted it to be buildable. I wanted it to be friendly for every ability level and comfort level with makeup. So you will find satisfying pigmentation here, but you will also feel like, okay, I have some control over this stuff. So I really feel like if there was any time to bust this out again, if you've got this lurking in your collection, it might be spring, because you put in those splashes of lavender and light green. There are so many fun ways to play, but you also do have the dark shades that anchor it, that root the look, that help your lighter pastels really sing on the eyes. So that's why I love this one, and that's why I'm re-recommending it. I always feel a little bit awkward talking about my own thing and feeling like, I don't want to, point to myself on that too much, but it's a really great palette. Keeping with that idea of some pastel pops of color, but they're kind of surrounded by comfortable shades that I'm really used to using, I love this Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde. I believe this came out, was it a couple of Christmases ago? Like, it was shortly before the holidays, and I feel like the key time for this palette is really spring, because I'm looking at these minty kind of light turquoisey shades. I'm looking at the lavender, the rose, and this is for people who really want to, I think, experiment with the textures and also those light colors, because we've got things that are light and glittery. We've got some more smooth shimmers in here as well, but also some really beautiful mattes. I love having this plum. Yes, this is like a dark plum here. This rich berry. You've got some soft peaches that are going to play so nicely with some of these different tones here. Or you can just take it to more of a golden place, maybe that's where you're comfortable. But this palette is a lot of fun if you want to usher in some different tones and you also want to play with some new textures. It's a lot of fun. Now around here, we like to go on a lot of walks. Me and the girls and mom, like, we're always walking around this area. We have a beautiful place where we can walk, where there's this walking path and it goes around the pond. And it is is that time of year where we're just starting to see the wildflowers and different things just cropping up a little bit on our path, and it's always a thrill right now when we run across some beautiful violets. We're also seeing that kind of purpley orchid tone in some of the redbud trees that are blooming right now, and it just brings you joy when you see those things. It just brings you an appreciation for, like, gosh, you know, what a place to live to get to see this nature. We are all so lucky, and I mean, why not bring some of that joy to your eyelids with the Profusion Violets palette? This is one of their super affordable but mind-blowing quality 10 shade palettes here. So you're gonna find these at Walmart. They've got all kinds of different colors. There's a beautiful one called Bear that I love. There's a smoky one. There's rubies. There's all kinds of different tones. But this purple one, my goodness, is the quality off the charts here. And also, I love that they give you some things that aren't purple in here to help support those shades, like this peachy color, like the brown, like this deep, really cool brown black over here. They're great, but you know, everything you're working with here purple-wise is just gonna, oh, it's so much fun. And I think it really echoes what we start to see in bloom this time of year. So that definitely gives me some spring vibes. Now, what if you're one who really is not into the splash of color and you just assume have a nice neutral eye look, something that can be soft and delicate? Maybe you're more of a lip person and you want to be bold with the lips. You want to throw on that red or that coral or those different fun shades that maybe you haven't been wearing as much lately, and you want to keep it more simple on the eyes. Let me throw back here to the e.l.f. New Classics palette. This one is stunning and really incredible quality and a great price as well. But what you're seeing in here is a nice mix of, yes, some warmth. You know, I'm seeing rose gold. I'm seeing maybe a couple of warm browns, but I'm also seeing a lot of nice cool shades, even a mauve, even something maybe with a little tinge of green in here, which I like. Cooler browns, a matte cream, a light shimmery shade, you know, just the basics that we all want. Brown and black, you know, that can't be underestimated, the value and the range that's within this palette. So if you're just saying, yeah, I just like to keep it neutral most of the time and not really put too many splashes of color in there, that's not really my thing, fine. This might be a good palette to pull back out if you have it or look for it in store. Another palette that really makes me think Mother's Day for some reason. I don't know why, but this is such a pretty delicate little gift here. The Viseart Paris Edit palette. This one, guys. Okay, minimal on the pop of color, but it is a nice little twist if you're into just the classic brown color scheme all the time, because we have a beautiful soft shimmery rose here. That and this kind of smidge of blue charcoal type of color, so pretty, so cool. Feeling the rose gold vibes in this one, but you're gonna pair that in with your deepest shade over here, deeper couple of shades that are a little bit like burgundy plum. And that's such a beautiful pairing, peach and plum, peach and plum. They placed them right here and your eye goes there, and that contrast on the eye is so pleasing. And the textures here are lovely. It's a cute little palette with a nice mirror. It just wraps around itself magnetic style, which I love, but this is one of the most beautiful and most delicate palettes Viseart has done, and I just really love how all these shades come together, and it does make me think spring, it makes me think Mother's Day. It's just seriously a really sweet little palette. And now, finally, something for those of you who say, bring on the freaking warmth. Maybe a warm shade or two in the palette just isn't simply enough for you, and you really just want to surround your look with oranges and coppers and gold. I would have to shout out the Sigma Corte Rosa palette. This is stunning. The textures here, I mean, I've talked about how this before, like when I first got this, it reignited my love for doing eye looks. I had at the time been in kind of an eye look slump, and I used this and I thought, oh my gosh, this is so much fun. You will get so much joy out of the blending of the different rich mattes here. So we're talking mattes, matte, 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 and then the shimmer pops are just kind of perfectly placed with the perfect types of tones where you can take it in a gold direction, more of a berry, copper. It's so much fun if you love warm. And plus you get a double-ended Sigma brush in here, which is amazing. But this is a true warmth at its best palette, in my opinion. I love like this berry shade right here that's a little more reddish than purple. You know, I love that. Oh, I can't wait to start using that again some more myself. Some people did asked me when I was reviewing Teddy Bear. They said, is that real similar to Sigma Quarta Rosa? So I'll take a moment to show you both of those. I feel like Sigma is bringing all the orangey vibes, and this one is not at all. Like, I can see some similarities with the neutrals and maybe a pink in this one, but this just does not have those same orangey terracotta types of pops. I think this is a great little spring palette as well. I was just trying to focus more on the rediscovered in this video, but you can see the difference there. If you want orange, if you want some real glaring warmth, you'd go for this one probably. This a little more rosy, neutral, classic. Okay, so thank you guys so much for watching. I would love to hear in the comments section, do you go through your collection when the seasons change? Do you pick out some different things that you want to get more use out of? What do you see as a great spring palette, either for face or eyes or a combination of the two? Was there anything I mentioned today that you'd really forgotten about? Let me know. Thank you so much for your time. I love you. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you soon. Bye.